Friends, this movie is called Serenity, released in 2019. Its story revolves around a mysterious island where a man named Dill is trapped. He tries to figure out how and when he arrived on the island, as there seems to be no way out. To understand the story fully, make sure to watch until the end. The story begins with Dill, the main character. Dill owns a boat and is passionate about fishing. He lives on an island called Plymouth. To earn money, he often takes tourists out for fishing trips. Dill sets up the fishing rods and the tourists enjoy catching fish, which brings them great joy. In return, Dill earns some money. On this particular day, Dill and his partner are out with two tourists who have paid for a fishing trip. However, something unusual happens. When a fish is close to being caught, Dill refuses to hand over the rod to his clients. He has been trying to catch a specific fish for a long time, and today might be his chance. When he doesn't give them the rod, the tourists get angry, but Dill silences them by showing a knife. Unfortunately, despite his efforts, Dill fails to catch the tuna. Now they have to refund the tourists' money. While this isn't a big deal for Dill, his partner Duke is upset because he needed the money to pay for his granddaughter's university fees. Dill promises Duke that he will arrange the money. Later, Dill meets his friend Diana, who gives him some money after they spend time together. Dill asks her about her son, who also shares a love for boats and fishing. In reality, Dill wants Duke to leave the island so he can work elsewhere and earn better money. Later, Dill visits a bar where the bartender reveals that people on this island know every small detail about each other. This raises curiosity about the island's mysterious nature. The bartender also mentions that Dill has tried to catch that fish 4 times already and suggests giving it a name. Dill calls the fish Justice. That night, Dill gives Duke some money and tells him they will go fishing again tomorrow. Duke asks how many clients will join them, but Dill replies that they'll go alone as he's determined to catch the fish. Duke disagrees with this decision since it involves expenses. That night, while Dill is home, he thinks about his son, who now lives with his ex-wife after their divorce. His son also shares a passion for fishing, just like Dill. The next day, Dill and Duke set out to sea, but even after an entire day of waiting, they fail to catch the fish. Disheartened, Dill tells Duke he is bad luck and blames him for everything going wrong since his wife passed away. Hurt by these words, Duke angrily packs his belongings and leaves. However, Dill had intentionally said this to encourage Duke to find work elsewhere. Later that night, Dill visits the bar again, where the bartender advises him to let go of his obsession with catching the fish. But Dill ignores him. At the bar, Dill encounters Karen, his ex-wife, who has come to see him. Dill knows she must have a reason for her visit. After taking her to his boat, he asks her what she wants. Through their conversation, we learn that Dill was once in the army, but left for some reason. Karen admits she made a mistake in leaving Dill. After their divorce, she married Frank, a wealthy but abusive man who constantly monitors her and has become increasingly controlling. When Dill asks Karen about their son, Patrick, she breaks down in tears.
She says that Patrick always stays in his room scared. To avoid having to listen to all this, he plays computer games all day. His teachers say that he is very smart, but now he remains very quiet. Dill says that you should divorce him. Then Karen says, I cannot do this. He will kill me, and that is why she came here. Actually, she wanted that she and Dill should kill Frank together. She will bring him on the boat on the pretext of fishing, and for this work she was even ready to give him $10 million, but Dill refuses this because he did not want to kill anyone. After Karen leaves, a man wearing a suit comes looking for Dill. Actually, he was keeping an eye on Dill for many days, but he could not meet Dill. The next morning when Dill went to take a bath in the sea, he heard his son's voice, and for a moment he saw his face was also seen. Meanwhile, we hear the voices of Frank and Karen screaming. We see Patrick, who was in his room. That means there is some connection between these father and son. Well, Karen's husband Frank had reached the hotel where Karen was staying. Karen gets scared seeing him because he was going to come after 2 days. As soon as he arrives, he tortures Karen. Next day, Dill went to a local shop to get fishing equipment. Then the woman working there told him that people were talking about Frank, that he kept beating his wife with a belt for an hour, and Karen did not even utter a word. Dill left from there without talking about this. When he came near the boat, he saw that Frank was waiting for him with Karen. Frank says, "My wife told me that you will not take us fishing." Dil says, "I have violated some rules, so I am not going to take any boat." Frank says that he cannot take Dil alone on the boat. On this small island, the law is defeated by money, so don't worry about it. But Dil still doesn't agree to it. Then Frank says that every person has a price. "I will come here tomorrow and you will take me fishing." After this, he starts leaving from there. Meanwhile, the same unknown man comes to Dil looking for him, but this time also Dil leaves from there without listening to him. The man looks at his watch and says that I am 20 seconds late. Something is wrong. Later, Dil goes to sell a fish, where Carlos tells him that someone was looking for you, but Dil is not interested in it. Then he goes to give Diana's cat which was lost. Diana says that I heard that Karen asked for your help. You are a good person. I think you should help her. After leaving, Duke comes to meet her and says Frank is going to give you 1000 rupees just for a tour. I have to pay my granddaughter's fees. You should accept his offer. Dil says, "Why should I agree to you?" Duke says, "I know why you were doing all this, but I don't need your pity. I need your help to help Duke." Dil agrees. Later Karen comes to meet Dil again. Dil says, "I will just take him fishing. I am not going to kill him." Karen says he will kill me and Patrick. "I know that you talk to him. He can hear you from his computer. You both are connected to each other." Dil doesn't answer her. Well, later when he and Duke are in the sea, Dil says from his heart that he is feeling something is wrong here. While fishing, Dil asks Frank if he has children. Frank says he has a stepson. "I tried to befriend him, but he spends the whole day on his computer. His math teacher says he is a genius, but he plays a stupid game all day in which a man spends the whole day fishing. I don't like him." Dil asks why does he hate you so much. Frank says, "I don't know, but one day I will kill him." Hearing this, Dil gets angry, but before he can do anything, a huge shark gets caught in their hook and they start catching it. After coming back, Dil says that they will go again tomorrow. Karin gets a chance to talk, so she again offers Dil to kill Frank. Karin says that Patrick also wants the same. Hearing this, Dil thinks. Duke also gets into their conversation. He asks Dil if he knows those people. Dil says that she is my ex-wife. During my service in the army, I went to a war. After returning from there, I came to know that she has gone to Frank. Duke advises him that no matter what the situation, he should not kill anyone. Dil met Karin at night and now he agreed to kill Frank. He only wants money. He is not doing all this for love. When Dil came home, the same unknown man came to meet him whom we have seen many times in the film. Well, he had brought the same device with which Dil can catch the tuna fish which Dil has been dreaming of catching for a long time. And this device was to be given to Dil for free. On hearing this, the man blurted out that this is the rule of the game and I am the rule. Dil finds it strange and gets suspicious of the man, so he threatens him and asks him who he is. Then the man says, the man whose name is Reed tells that actually all this is not real, it is just a game and the rule of the game is that no one will die here, you are a character and you have to catch that tuna fish. Dil does not believe his words, but he was always suspicious about this place. He did not remember when he came here and for how long he has been here. By the way, here the audience comes to know that this game has probably been designed by his son, but why and for what? Reed says that for the last few days there is a problem in the game. That means the one who made this game probably wants you to kill that man Frank, but according to my rules, killing anyone on this island is prohibited, so I have come to tell you the rules, and I myself do not know why the one who made this game is changing the rules. Dil finds his words nonsense. The next morning Dil felt that he was alarmed. He is not able to get up before 12 o'clock, which indicates that maybe he is really in a game. Everywhere he keeps hearing the same thing, go and catch that fish. He tries to remember why and when he came to this island, but he does not find any such memory in his mind. He sits in his car and goes far ahead, and now he starts feeling that all this is not true. He was talking to himself when Dinah's son Samson comes to meet him. He says, you needed someone, can I work with you? On this, Dil starts laughing and says, when I asked for you from this game, I did not get you and now this game is giving me everything. Dil leaves from there. To clear his doubt, he started asking some questions to the store owner but he always changes the topic. Then Dil calls to find out. Patrick tries to find out if Reed is real or not. He gets the answer that Reed is real. Dil goes to the bar to have a drink but the bartender says the same thing to him. He says, "Aren't you going fishing today? You should go to work. Don't take tourists along. They always harass you." That is, the rules of the game were telling him not to kill Frank but Patrick had something else in mind. On the other hand, it is shown that when Karin wakes up, she finds Frank injured in the bathroom. Last night, 6 people killed him. Actually, this was Duke's work. He had paid some people to kill Frank so that he could not come on the boat today. Duke tells Dil that he did what he thought was right for him. Dil gets very angry at this. Despite being injured, Karin convinces Frank that she can go fishing. But Dil was sitting disappointed on the seashore when Reed comes to him. Dil says, "I am not able to understand why I am here. What is the purpose of my life? Have I gone mad?" Reed says, "I also don't know anything about this, but I know what is happening here. We are all someone's dream and only he knows about us who has created us and maybe you know who he is." Dil says yes, he is a small child who is sitting in a dark room and watching us. His stepfather keeps beating his mother. Maybe that is why he has created this game in the hope that maybe one day he can bring back his real father and teach his stepfather a lesson. He wants that I will give him justice no matter what happens. On this, Reed says, "If this is what you want, then I will break the rules of the game. If our creator, if this is what you want, then you should do the same." Karen brings Frank to the boat. On this, Dil runs towards his boat. Actually, Patrick had made such a game in which he could spend time with his father. But as his stepfather's torture increased, the desire to kill him increased in Patrick's heart. Patrick just wanted to get a hint that killing Frank was not wrong. So he allowed Dil to think in the game so that Dil listens to his heart and whatever his decision is, Patrick will also do the same. This was the reason why the game was reminding him again and again that he just has to catch the fish. But Dil's thinking started changing. Anyway, Dil reaches the boat where Frank and Karen were already present. Dil takes Frank to the sea. Frank's condition was already very bad and Karen had also kept him intoxicated. They come to know that Samson is also on the boat, who could have spoiled their plan, but in the end, when Dil hands the rod to Frank, the shark pulls him into the sea and that is his end. In the real world, Patrick, Dil's son, actually kills his stepfather Frank and we understand that Dil's real fight had ended with death. What is in the game is just Patrick's thoughts. Well, after this murder, Patrick is kept in a mental hospital. In the game, we see that Karen says goodbye to Dil, but in the deal, she had put a condition to adopt Patrick. Dil knew that it was just a game. Then Karen says crying that someday you will definitely meet her. Then Karen disappears from there and Dil gets a call on his phone. Patrick was on the other side of the call. Hearing his voice, Dil gets emotional and Patrick says, "I have done something very wrong." So Dil explains to him that whatever you did was for good. Patrick says, "I will make some changes in the game so that I can meet you." Dil gets very happy and he says, "I will wait for you." After the call is disconnected, Dil sees that everything is changing there. And the next moment we see that Patrick is also in the game. He is running towards the boat to meet Dil. Dil is very happy to see him. Both of them hug each other. Even though it was in the game, Patrick was with his father. And the film ends here. Friends, in this story, the love between a father and a son is shown. The absence of a father is felt more by those whose father has left this world. We hope you liked our video. We will meet in some other story.